Hi there, everybody. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Keith Gibson. It is a little bit wet. It's a little bit breezy across northeastern Wisconsin this evening. Let's get into our weather discussion here. It is about 9 o'clock, right on the dot. And we have a wind advisory officially for Kewaunee and Door counties, 4 a.m. until 10 a.m. Tuesday. Now, having said that, most spots will be very breezy / windy as we go throughout the course of the overnight and into tomorrow morning. So this is where we have the official wind advisories in place, but we'll see if this gets expanded a little bit. It's going to be breezy / windy everywhere here. These are the latest wind gusts as of the top of the hour. Fond du Lac, Anago 32, 26 now in Green Bay, 28 in Manitowoc, 23 in Sturgeon Bay. These have increased since we were on the television side over on WBAY TV earlier this evening, and we will continue to expect some stronger winds as we go throughout the course of the night into tomorrow morning. No big changes here. We are expecting winds that could be in excess of 40 miles per hour, really after midnight into the wee hours of the night and the first part of tomorrow morning. And then the winds will start to decrease going into tomorrow afternoon. This is the next 24 hours. So very gusty later on tonight, really after midnight, including parts of your Tuesday morning commute. Predictor, let's go through the timeline here with our forecast wind gusts by 10, 11 o'clock. Many of us could be in the mid-20s to low to mid-30s as far as the wind gust is concerned. And I'm going to pause this at 3 a.m. And a couple of things stick out here, and that would be areas near the lakeshore where there could be some wind gusts in excess of 40, perhaps up to 45 plus here, and also across parts of north central Wisconsin. Some higher terrain areas as well. So it's going to be pretty breezy around here, and we just have to be aware of high-profile vehicles, especially on north-south highways, and also elevated bridges like the Leo Frigo in Green Bay, and also the bridge in Sturgeon Bay, and various other high-elevation on-ramps and off-ramps and bridges across our region here as we go throughout the course of the night and tomorrow morning. This is 7 o'clock for your morning commute. Still very gusty. We could still have some wind gusts in the mid-40s along the lakeshore up through Door County. Maybe not as windy inland here, but still very windy through the course of our morning commute. This is 11 o'clock Tuesday. We're going to have a bit of a wind shift. So tonight the winds are from the east and southeast. By tomorrow afternoon, as the winds start to decrease, we're going to have more of a wind from the west and southwest. And that's a bit of a cold front coming through here, and that will change the wind direction around. It's also going to allow colder air to come on in as we go throughout the course of the rest of the week and into next week and into early December. So we will be in the upper 50s tomorrow, and then we will not see 50s again for quite some time. So consider that. It's been a very mild fall, and right now we are looking at one more really warm day. This is a look at First Alert Viper Max here this evening. We've had this first round of rain move on through. This has been some pretty steady rain, wind-driven rain. I'm just checking my comments here. Does it look like we'll be getting snow for Thanksgiving next week? There is a system that is possible for the middle of next week. We'll talk about that in just a split second. And yeah, so next week is looking like it could be a little bit active. Yeah. Like we are going to be for the rest of this week as well. All right, so a little bit of wet weather here right now. Let's zoom out just a little bit and go down to the south here, down towards Dubuque, Iowa, southwestern Wisconsin. There's more rain building in down here. This is lifting to the northeast, and let's expand out even more so here. The second round of rain is down here in Iowa and Illinois and Missouri. And just for reference here, I don't have it plotted on my graphics here right now, but we are getting wind gusts now in eastern Iowa and western Illinois. Let's see, the latest wind gusts at Davenport, Iowa, up to 43 miles per hour. So we're going to have a bout of some gusty wind and some additional heavier rain as we go throughout the next couple of hours here. So this will move through this heavier band here. We'll move through tonight. And then we'll have some lingering showers tomorrow morning. We're going to get into this dry slide here for a good chunk of our Tuesday. So it's been pretty wet this evening, be pretty wet tonight, but Not going to be as wet during the daylight hours tomorrow, but we'll at least start out with a few showers here. I want to show you the big picture. This is this area of low pressure. This is a potent area of low pressure in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. It looks like a little cinnamon swirl right here. This is very powerful. Now, this energy is going to be wrapping back up to the northwest and then do a little loop-de-loop down through the Great Lakes, back around Michigan, and then out to New England and the Northeast as we go throughout the next couple of days into the coming weekend. I want to show you that with the upper level energy here. Nice to see you, Nancy, from Shawano. Yes, it is rainy and windy. So this is the upper level energy. We just talked about this area of low pressure doing that loop-de-loop. So watch this thing here do its thing as we go throughout the next couple of days. Wow, it's going to be a little bit of an adventure here. But these systems, and this one in particular, is pretty massive. It's pretty big in the upper levels of the atmosphere. And we're going to have a couple of surface areas of low pressure move through, one in the region tonight, and then it's going to get reorganized to our east on Thursday and give us a chance for some snow, if you can believe it, here across parts of eastern Wisconsin. Now, rainfall so far today, Oshkosh, Watoma, Fond du Lac, a third to a half inch of moisture so far with the earlier band of rain. It hasn't been as wet to the northeast of Green Bay, but we do anticipate some additional rain coming on in later on tonight. So in general here, with this event today, tonight, tomorrow morning, we think a half inch to an inch of moisture in most spots. I know it hasn't rained as heavily up to the northeast of Green Bay as of yet, but we still have the opportunity for some additional rain as we go throughout the next 12 to 18 hours here. Let's time things out with Predictor just to get you ready to go. We have this first band moving through. Notice the winds too as we go throughout the course of the night. We've been talking about that. So we will have additional rain come on in from the southwest that will fill in just a little bit. So I do think later on this evening into the overnight, if your rain has really fallen apart and it's just a lighter style rain, we're probably going to have another burst of some heavier rain at some point with some really gusty wind during the wee hours of the overnight hours. This is 4 a.m. and this is 7 o'clock in the morning. Temperatures are actually going to be slowly rising. So we have some 40s out there now. By the time you wake up tomorrow in the Fox Valley, we're thinking low to mid 50s. So it's actually going to be a little bit warmer as warmer air pivots in with this system. The chance of rain will start to decrease by midday tomorrow. And we'll hold on to the clouds. It's still going to be breezy, not as windy tomorrow afternoon, but this is midday on our Tuesday, pushing into the upper 50s. And like I said at the start of this discussion, this is the last day that we will have this warm anytime soon. I don't see a day like this warm for quite some time, just looking at the way the weather pattern's setting up going into the end of November and early December. So we shouldn't be this warm. It's been a very warm fall, and we're finally transitioning down to some cooler air after tomorrow. And then we'll start to cool down late tomorrow afternoon. This is about 6 o'clock Tuesday. Not as windy. Temperatures cooling down into low 50s and upper 40s here. So that is our Tuesday. That's the first phase of this system. Now, we get into a little bit of a lull for Wednesday. I can't rule out a shower here. But I think we'll be watching some snow showers back to the west, and also this new area of low pressure that is going to develop over here in lower Michigan. Now watch this thing. This is going to develop somewhere over here, loop back to the northwest, and graze eastern Wisconsin with more moisture that could be in the form of some snow or wintry mix. Now the placement of this low is going to determine exactly what we get Thursday morning. So it looks like it's going to redevelop, shift back to the northwest a little bit. Again, this is just pivoting around that big area of low pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere. This is another surface low, but this is really going to ramp up the winds again. I think we'll have some wind gusts over 40 again Thursday morning especially. And yeah, there's a potential for some wet snow or cold rain. We don't know exactly who's going to get what at this point. But temperatures will likely start out in the 30s here. That would support some wet snow, especially on some grassy surfaces, and maybe some elevated bridge decks too if we happen to see some heavier bouts of snow in some regions here on Thursday morning. That could gum up the works for your Thursday morning commute. We are considering doing a first alert weather day for Thursday morning's commute just because of this possibility here. Now that's 6 a.m. Thursday. This is 3 o'clock. The area of low pressure starts to pivot back to the southeast. Temperatures will be warming up into the 40s here, so the odds of any frozen precip will be close to zero going into Thursday afternoon. So the only chance I think we'll have for snow would be Thursday morning for your Thursday morning commute, but still a chance for some showers and wind during the course of the day here on Thursday. Now that whole area of low pressure starts to move away Friday and into the weekend, but we will still have some breezy conditions and northwest wind, and there may be some lake effect snow showers or rain showers up here in the UP and across western and northern lower Michigan. Some of those could graze parts of Door County too and the UP border region as we get into Saturday and Sunday. But for most of us, the precipitation chances will start to dwindle after Thursday. It's just going to be breezy and much, much cooler, a fair amount of cloud cover as well. And your Sunday should be pretty cloudy and temperatures anywhere in the 30s to around 40, best case scenario here. So your Thursday morning, this is the European model. It is picking up on some of that snow potential here. This would be slushy snow accumulation, primarily on some grassy surfaces, a coating to an inch from the valley to the lakeshore. Now, this model actually takes the area of low pressure a little bit farther to the east into Lake Michigan and Michigan itself on Thursday morning versus the American GFS model right here. It takes the area of low pressure back to the west just a little bit, and that would put more of our area into that light slushy snow scenario here Thursday morning for a coating to maybe an inch or two on some colder, grassier surfaces. So we'll see what plays out. This is Monday night. We've got to get through tomorrow and Wednesday. We'll be fine-tuning the forecast here. But just keep in mind that we are likely going to have at least a chance for a little bit of snow, perhaps the first one going into our Thursday morning. There's the storm track, pretty active from west to east across the country this week and next week. So if you're asking and wondering, like some folks were in the comments, what's going to happen next week? We are highlighting the chance for the middle of next week for the chance for a storm that could move through the Great Lakes region. Today's data suggests next Wednesday, which is the day before Thanksgiving, when a lot of you could be traveling, some sort of a weather maker that could produce some rain, snow, or some wind, depending on how things go. Now, that's like 9-10 days away here, so a lot of stuff's going to be changing, but data has been consistent the last couple of days, suggesting some sort of a system moving through next week on or before Thanksgiving Day. So we just want to give you that first alert as we get a little bit closer. We will be updating you on that as well. Now, as far as the cold air, tomorrow, upper 50s, really mild, breezy, last real warm day for a while. This is the temperature trend for the next 10 days, and notice how in general, that cold air is just going to keep spilling out of Canada, and it's going to get progressively cooler just going through time here. So we're thinking 40s for highs later this week, and maybe some of you will stay in the 30s this weekend into next week. So we are transitioning down into some November and December-like air, as we should be. We should not be looking at temperatures that are consistently in the 50s or low 60s. As of today, or as of yesterday rather, Green Bay, the second warmest November on record, and so far this month, and we are going to be trending down. So it's been extremely warm, but some cooler air is on the way. All right, Bill, great to see you tonight here on the stream. These are the current numbers, and for the most part, we're probably bottoming out right now in the 40s in most spots. Do expect a slow rise in the temperature as we go throughout the course of the night. We will have another round of rain move through. The winds will be increasing, hence the first alert weather day. Like we've been mentioning, there could be some wind gusts 45-ish later tonight and tomorrow morning. We are expecting upper 50s tomorrow. Very windy in the morning, gusty in the afternoon. The best rain chance will be tonight and tomorrow morning. The odds of showers will be diminishing by midday tomorrow. And it should be one last mild day, about 50, let's just say mid 50s to around 60 here across all of northeastern Wisconsin. But the average is 42, and that's where we are trending as we go through time here. So let me bring our Super 7-day up full screen, and we'll go through a couple of these days to make sure you are well prepared as we go through time here. Windy tomorrow morning and lesser wind in the afternoon. Our Wednesday, we go from the 50s tomorrow to the 40s or 30s in the region Wednesday. And our wind chills will likely be in the 30s here on Wednesday. It will be breezy, not as windy, but it will be much, much cooler. A shock to the system, but that's where we should be for this time of year. Thursday, that morning snow chance, 43 degrees in the afternoon. But in the morning, we should be in the 30s, and that could support some of that snow. And to complicate things, it looks like we may have some wind gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour, if not a little bit higher, during the day Thursday. And that, of course, is not what we want to have if there's going to be some wintry weather around. So we have not had any wintry weather for a good chunk of our region this year so far. And if we do have it Thursday morning, we will have to adjust and get used to some snow and some wind and some perhaps slushy accumulation on some pavement and some grassy surfaces, and just plan accordingly to get back into that winter mindset. Friday, 44 degrees, breezy, cool. The chance of precip goes down. 40 on Saturday. This is the start of the gun deer season, the hunting season here at gun deer in Wisconsin. Our temperatures Saturday will be in the 30s to low 40s, best case scenario, but it's going to be breezy. So our feel-like temperatures will be in the 20s to low 30s. A bit of a brisk start. I don't think we're going to have a lot of snowpack on the ground in the region for tracking purposes. Can't totally rule it out since we do have some snow in the forecast for Thursday morning, but I suspect most spots probably will not have any snow on the ground here for the start of the hunting season there. Sunday, mostly cloudy in Green Bay and everywhere else. We're thinking about 40 degrees. Packers hosting the 49ers, and it looks like it's going to be a mostly cloudy, chilly day. One good thing about this is that by Sunday, I think the winds will finally have eased here. So it's not going to be as brisk. It's going to be chilly, but it's not going to be overly numbing as far as things go here this time of year. So we'll take it around 40 at kickoff. And for your tailgate in the early afternoon, the game starts at 3:25, and by the end of the game, we'll be somewhere into the mid-30s here. But it looks pretty benign in general on Sunday. Can't totally rule out a snowflake there late Sunday and the Monday, keeping the forecast pretty dry. 39 next Monday. So there's a sign of some of that cooler air continuing to come on in. One last thing before I let you go here. Our state football championships are taking place this weekend, or not this weekend, this week, Thursday, Friday, down in Madison at Camp Randall. We have Wrightstown taking on Stratford. This is Thursday at 4 o'clock. Upper 30s, maybe a shower, rain or snow, gusty winds Thursday. Plan accordingly. Doesn't look overly wet, but it just looks breezy and chilly. And then we have Catholic Memorial versus Notre Dame Friday at 10 o'clock. This is we're looking at temperatures in the upper 30s, breezy conditions, mostly cloudy. And upper 30s, mostly cloudy at 4 o'clock for the Bayport-Muskego game there at Camp Randall. So we've had a lot of good weather for high school football this year, regular season, playoffs, and it will be culminating with a wintry feel later this week. But it doesn't look to be too terribly wet or snowy, but there could be a few showers around there for sure for that one game Thursday afternoon with one of our local area teams. So that's where we're headed for the next 7 days. And I just hope you are ready for that little taste of winter. It's coming on back. We pushed it back as far as we can, but now reality is striking. We're about ready to pay the piper for all of this mild air after that real mild day tomorrow with one more day back into the upper 50s. So to reiterate, windy tonight, showery tonight, some wind-driven rain. Gusts could be over 40 miles per hour. First alert weather day through tonight, and then we'll be watching Thursday morning for that next chance of some rain, some snow, and some wind. So with that, we'll let you have a great Monday night, and we'll see you on TV tonight after the football game.